Today I'm here in Adopt Me to show you guys 1 week of grinding. So I'm going to show you guys my progress throughout the whole entire week. But basically my routine is when I first join, I do the task, then I go ahead and skydive. Skydiving is pretty important. We make a lot more acorn skydiving, so I make sure that I get that done. And I also check for fish, mainly looking for the rainbow fish, of course. But my routine is to check for fish in the morning, and then I go take care of my pets, and then I go ahead and skydive. Another thing that I like to do that helps a lot with making more acorns is doing my daily tasks. Every single day you'll get 3 different tasks to do. You have to complete 5 needs, do a skydiving time trial, and catch 2 invasive carp. I try to complete that as soon as possible so I can start saving up baits, because when you complete that, you do get to get baits for taking care of your pets. Another thing that I like to do that is quite important too is looking for the bone in the bottle. Every single hour there is going to be a bone in a bottle, so I try to get that on my main, and I am also getting that on my alt account because I'm also grinding on my alt account as well. And I'm also using 2 other accounts so I can get to a mega Stygian owl a little bit faster, and I make sure that I do that every single hour, collecting it on all of my accounts. But I am using my alt account to make more money, so I'm taking care of my pets, I'm taking care of my alt account's pets, and then when I go skydiving right afterwards, I make my alt account go skydiving as well. Some tips is to get a pet certificate, because you will get a lot more acorns if you do have 2 pets instead of just 1. So if you can, I do recommend getting a pet certificate. It does make things a little easier. And then I also like to set a goal to make things a little bit easier so I know how much I need to get every single day. My goal at the start of the week was 200k, which took me 3 hours. But later on in the week, I'll show you guys. I do start grinding a little bit more to make a little bit more so I can do a bigger shopping spree. The only complaint I have about this update is there's no mini game, which is completely fine. If they added another way to get acorns like skydiving, it would make things a little bit easier and make it a little easier to get acorns. I don't think they're going to be adding anything next week, so I don't know if this will be a huge shopping spree, but my goal is to at least get to 5 million. But I do get 35, around 35, more like 34k acorns in 1 hour. Anyways, on day 1, I started with 330k, and I grinded for 3 hours to make 425k, which was 95 on my main account. My alt account started off with 289k and ended off with 380k. So I ended up making 91 acorns on my alt account. So I didn't quite make 200k, but at the end I had 805k altogether with my main and alt account. So that was pretty good. I should have grinded for maybe like a day or 2 to get a little bit more, but that is alright. We do make a lot more in the next upcoming days. Day 2 was actually my grinding to 1 million video. I would recommend watching that if you want to see that, but that was day 2 for me, and I ended up making a 525k on my main account. And then on my alt account, I ended off with 479k. So I ended up making 100k on my main. I ended up making 97k on my alt. I think I missed a day of skydiving on my alt account, so I made a little bit less, but I almost made it 200k, and by the end of the day I had 1 million altogether with my main and my alt account, which is pretty good. On day 3, I did see a rainbow carp, so I went ahead and fished that up. I always am looking for rainbow carps, and I'm really glad I found one right when I started to grind. And of course, if I'm going to get the rainbow carp on my main account, I also have to get it on my alt account too. I have a copper rod on my alt account, but I ended up fishing up 2 fish, and try to fish up the rainbow carp, but lost it. And as you can tell, I was pretty mad about that. And then I did see another rainbow carp, but I don't know what happened. I was too early, which really made me mad. I kept missing fish for some reason. I kept going too early. And then of course I also missed this one on my alt account too. But at the end of the day, I got 633k on my main, and then I also got 588k on my alt account. I ended up with 1,221,000. So I did end up making a little bit more than usual. It's always good to make a little bit more than usual, of course. And then on day 4, I went ahead and skydived. I didn't record much of this day. I didn't find any rainbow fish or anything like that. So it was just me skydiving for the last bit of the day. After taking care of the last few tasks, I ended up having 777k, and then on my alt account, I ended off with 730k. So I ended up getting 1,507,000 acorns altogether on day 4. This was the day that I tried to make a little bit more acorn. I ended up getting 144 acorns on my main. I also ended up getting 142,000 on my alt account too. So we almost made 300k on this day. This was Friday, so I think I ended up grinding a lot during my live stream and then afterwards. But at this point, this is when I decided that I needed to up my acorns and make a little bit more. So I did try to get a goal of 250k, which almost takes me 4 hours to do. It takes a very long time, but I know it's going to be worth it in the end to get more acorns. So that was Friday on day 4. So on day 5, things were a little bit different. They added the Stygian owl. So I was focused on that as well. But I did end up seeing a rainbow fish. And I actually ended up getting this one, which I was very happy about. I had 10 rainbow fish, which is awesome. My goal is to make a mega of the rainbow trout. I think that one is so cool. But as you can probably guess, I did end up missing it on my alt account. It looks like the second fish though on my main account, I also went too early and missed out on it. But at least I got one. Sometimes you don't even see one a day. But like I said, this day was a little different because they added the owl. So I ended up getting an owl on my main account, which I'm very, very happy about. So now I have another owl. But on day 5, I ended off with 886,000 on my main. And on my alt, I ended off on 810,000 on my alt account, which got me to 1,696,000, so almost 1,700,000 at the end of day 5. I made 100k on my main, and for some reason I made only 80k on my alt. So that day I actually didn't do as good as I planned to do, but on day 6 we did much, much better. I did get another Stygian owl on my alt account, so I had two actually, so I traded that to my main account. And then another one of my alt accounts also got another one, so I traded that to my main again. And then another one of my alt accounts also got another, so I did get lots of Stygian owls this day, which I'm very happy about. I have 6 so far. We're getting closer and closer to that mega. But after skydiving, I did finally get 1 million on my main account, which I was super, super happy about. But that wasn't quite my goal. I wanted to make a little bit more, so I kept on grinding. And I ended off with 1,040,000 acorns on my main account. So I ended up making 150 that day, so I did do a lot better on my main. On my alt though, I ended off with 967, and I also did really good. I made over 150 on my alt account, so that was a really good day. We did end up getting like 300k, and altogether I had 2 million. So on day 6 I finally hit 2 million. And then on the very, very last day, day 7, I did get another stinking owl on my main account, which is always awesome, but I didn't see any rainbow carp this day either. I did end this day off on 1,180,000 acorns, and on my alt account I had 1,104,000. So we did finally hit 1 million on my alt account and actually got over that. So we got 140 on my main account and 137 on my alt. So we made again almost 300k on day 7. So some days I do pretty good, some days I don't do as good. It usually depends on if I'm working that day or if I did a live stream and made a bunch of acorns during the live. It'll just depends on the day, but now my goal is 250k. I'm trying to get more for my big shopping spree. But that was 1 week of grinding. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you did. I know you guys want longer grinding videos, and I do plan to do that on the weekend. I do want to do a 1 hour of grinding video. I think I'm going to also be doing a Q&A during that video. Sometimes I just don't know what to talk about, so more than likely on my community page in the next few days I'll be asking for some questions as well, so also watch out for that if you want any of your questions answered. But I do plan on doing a very long grinding video on the weekend, but I thought I'd take you through 1 week of grinding. We started off with almost a million and ended off with over 2 million. So I think we did really good for a week of grinding. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know how many acorns you have, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!